Okay. All right. Here's where things went a bit sideways. I'll tell you right now, I saw, heard, and smelled nothing. Whatever happened here was internal and emotional, or neurotic, possibly. Or if it came from outside of me, I don't know what it was. I don't know. So I'll try to describe it as clearly as I can, and without a lot of speculation and sensationalism. We drove from Kumano Shrine all the way around to the radial lines. I dropped 2 trail cameras along the way. I think a good place. And we finally got to the lines. It was a beautiful day. I felt fine. We were all feeling fine. The sky was blue. And it was just a happy day. I got out of the car. I took my shoulder bag with the remaining trail cams, and I started climbing up. Well, the first thing I noticed was that the slope was way steeper than I expected. Way steeper. And there's no trail here, so you're really climbing. I needed both my hands to grab at trees and kind of help pull myself up. I had to put trees behind my back and lie back against them to keep from rolling downhill. It was that kind of steep. It was possible to go back down with no hands, but going up I needed both my hands. So my phone was in my pocket. I didn't even consider taking the Nikon because rolling downhill was a very real possibility, and I didn't want to wreck the $600 camera on its first trip out. Now the forest in here was dense, dark, and mossy. Very mossy. There were 4 or 5 inches of pine litter on the ground. You have to kind of step through it. I kept climbing, and the car got small below me, and then it went out of sight, and I was really alone. Now, I kept speaking out loud my intentions and personal introduction, just in case anyone was listening. I said in English and Japanese that I was just visiting, just wanted to have a quick look around, and then I'd be gone. I was friendly and peaceful, and so on. I estimated a climb of 80 to 100 meters. I climbed way more than 100 meters, way more. And there was no sign of any vertex, lines, giant stones, anything out of the ordinary. Nothing. So I kept going and going. Finally, the slope flattened out, and I was way up high on a little shelf. So I stopped there and caught my breath. I think I was between 200 and 300 meters from the road. The forest was dead quiet. quiet like a recording booth, like a radio station recording booth. I could hear my own heartbeat. Now I was on high alert because apart from Hibagon, there are bears and wild pigs that are dangerous, so I was alert, but I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid. I spent a lot of time in the woods in Canada. Never afraid. Alone in the woods. I was alert. I felt very alone, but fine. But confused, because I had climbed far enough, I should have seen something. I took out my phone. There was no signal, but I looked at the aerial photo again, this one. Well, now I understood that I must have overshot the northernmost line, and I was going up parallel to it. That's what I thought. So, okay, no big problem. That's fine. I just had to turn right and try to intersect that line. So I tried to do that, and I came to a deep, steep, wide ravine. And there was no way that I could get down it safely and then get up the other side. No way. And there was water running through it. I could hear the water. Now, I was still feeling fine, and we had all the time in the world. So, all right, this is simple. I thought I just have to go back down, tell my wife what happened, walk down the road a bit, and enter again from farther down. No big deal. So I looked down at my phone again to just check my plan with the map, make sure that I had the situation. Okay, so I'm looking at the map. Instantly, a wave of fear washed over me. It came out of nowhere. Okay, again, I saw, heard, smelled, nothing at all. There was no trigger. 1 second I was planning my next move. I was calm. I was just thinking of my next move. The next second I was overwhelmed. I was unmanned by fear. And at the same time, a fog came over my mind, and I felt disoriented and unclear. I thought to myself, and I might have said to myself, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out now. I started back down. Now, about 30 or 40 meters from the road, I saw something so unexpected and out of place and just so weird. I'll describe it to you. At the edge of the ravine on a high lip of land, several thick cords of some kind, and I think they were vines. They were brown, and they looked like vines, so I'll call them vines. Several vines came out of the ground at a common point or vertex, and these vines were stretched very taut, very straight, fanning out and going up into the leaves of the trees. At the base of these vines there was a log, and coming out from under the log were more lines fanned out in the ground. Now this is my picture. I stopped for about 2 seconds to look at it, just not understanding what I was seeing. I'm sorry, but I was not going to take out my phone and fumble with that and try to take a photo. Get out, get out, get out, get out was still on repeat in my head. So I passed by the arrangement. I was afraid of it. I moved farther away from it to distance myself from it. Finally, I got to the car and sunlight. My wife saw me. She was smiling, and then the smile left her face. I got in the car. I was trembling all over. My whole body was shaking. I was drenched with sweat and dripping with sweat. The sweat was dripping off me. She thought I was physically ill, maybe with food poisoning or something. She started to ask questions. Now, I could only say, "Let's go, let's go, let's go," almost in a whisper. I could hardly talk. And that's it. I was out of it. I was useless. My wife, on her own initiative, she took over. She took us on the next part of our plan, up Mount Azuma. She took us to the observation deck. I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to get out of the car. My wife talked me out. The trees up there were overgrown, and we couldn't see the lines, which is maybe just as well. I was scared to look back in that direction. Also, I needed a toilet. We got up to the top of Mount Azuma. The lodge up there is closed. Closed and abandoned. There is a little toilet hut. I used the men's toilet. Now, at any other time, I would have been checking out the ponds, maybe setting up the trail cameras there, and definitely I would have been trying doorknobs on the lodge, hoping to do a little exploring. But at this time, I just wanted to go back in the car and off that mountain, and I wanted to go home. I was done. The rest of the afternoon, I was out of it. I was brain fogged. I was quiet. I didn't want to talk. I didn't have any words. We got home, put the girls to bed. I told the wife what happened. The next day, Monday, all day, I felt still brain fogged and unable to concentrate. Okay, that's what happened at the Vertex. I feel bad. I feel like I let you down. I tried my best. In my whole life, I'll tell you this, in my whole life, I've been scared of a lot of things. I've been in some scary, life-threatening situations with cars, with falling through ice, with wild animals, injuries, life-threatening injuries. In my whole life, I have never felt that heavy, immediate, overwhelming dread without a trigger, without anything concrete to be afraid of, without a scary thought in my head. It was very primal and whole body. And once more, I never saw a threat. I never felt explicitly threatened by anything. I can't explain it any better than a wave of fear and dread and an urgent need to leave. So, silly man scaring himself out of the woods. Yeah, very possibly. Except I never had the germ of a scary idea in my head. And I didn't get scared gradually, as you do. It was 0 to 1,000 in the snap of your fingers. Now, on the Bigfoot topic, people theorize a lot about infrasound attacks. I don't know anything about infrasound. I know that's a popular theory, but we don't know anything about it, so no comment. Did I inhale some pheromones in the air that had no scent but triggered a primal chemical instinctive reaction? I don't know. I have no explanation, or even, I don't have any idea. The thing that I saw, that structure, I have no idea about that either. The ravine that I saw, I thought later that maybe that was the northernmost line. Maybe the lines are dug ravines. Or it might have just been a ravine. I don't know. I plan on going back there in the spring. I want one more man with me. I want to see the lines, and I want to take a photo of that structure. Okay, that's the end of our trip and this trip report. We will go back to our regular Hibagon programming from tomorrow. Thank you for coming along with us. Thank you for your well wishes and your help. 3 of you are still waiting for calligraphy, and Japan Post is not doing their job. They have stopped taking airmail. Yesterday, Japan closed its borders, so I don't know when we'll be able to ship your calligraphy out, but please know we haven't forgotten you. It'll get to you. Oh, one more thing. After we left the lines, just a little ways up, there is a sign on the side of the road. It says that the original trail up to Izanami's grave, the oldest, ancient, original trail, goes up from here. So I would like to climb up that way next year and see if that trail gives any more hints to the history and nature of the mountain, or certainly this side of the mountain, and our gigantic solar calendar. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.